Hello everybody, I am the Dire Duck. I have a bit of a different video for you all today. Now, as some of you may already know, I was in Las Vegas for the Lvl Up Expo a couple weeks ago, and while I was out there, I met up with a couple of content creators that you might know. But I did a lot more than just that, and I made a full holiday out of the whole thing, which did make things quite a bit more costly. But you don't go to Vegas very often now, do you? So I thought I might as well make the most out of this trip. So in this video, I plan to detail my little Vegas trip from the beginning all the way up until the Lvl Up Expo itself, as, let's be real, that is the bit you'll really want to see. But I do have my exploits with Death Templar and Cyn to tell you all about, so make sure to stick around till the very end. I hope you all enjoy. I began my journey by heading to the airport for my flight. The day was full of good omens. There was ungodly traffic on the way to the airport, the Pope had just died, and my platform number was 13. I can't really think of anything else that could have made my flight seemingly more doomed unless the plane number itself was 666. Though, fortunately however, nothing went wrong and I arrived at Vegas in the late evening. I then travelled to where I'd be staying for the entirety of the trip, the Ahern Hotel. Also, as a side note, I got overcharged by the airport taxi in typical fashion, which was annoying, but what can you do? Now, something you must know about the Ahern Hotel is that I would continue to mispronounce its name for the entirety of the trip, calling it the Ahern Hotel, which confused every single taxi driver I ever talked to. I just thought you should know that. But yeah, I saw a couple of notable sights and buildings on the drive over, but I finally had made it to the hotel. I then checked in, I unpacked, and had some pasta in the in-hotel restaurant, which was fairly nice, especially when you consider that I had eaten nothing but airport food for 13 hours.
Disgusting!
I was predictably shattered after that, so then I went to bed, rounding out my first day. On day 2, I spent the first part of the day wandering around my local area, trying to kill a bit of time and also trying to get my bearings in this foreign land. I was also waiting for something, or should I say, someone. When I eventually received my signal, I travelled to one of Vegas' many malls in order to meet up with someone you likely all know, the mighty mechanist himself, good old Death Templar. That's right, the man who was making the fully fledged Cyn robot was also here in Vegas for the Lvl Up Expo, so we decided to link up and see some of the many local sites together. So, what do you think DT is most interested in? The Fountains of Bellagio? The Paris Las Vegas? Caesar's Palace? No, the Tipsy robot, because the whole bar was unmanned and used robot arms to serve drinks. Though, to be fair, we also went to have a look at Hell's Kitchen, which made a certain other MD tuber very jealous. But we did actually do some stuff, like going on the fly zip lines and also having a little soup around the fanciful shops, like I Love Sugar, which I must say made me feel very American. Though I guess one must indulge in the local customs when in Rome and all that. After that, we wandered around a bunch more until we ended up in the Venetian, where of course DT managed to locate the nearest robots.
Dear God.
Instead of all the gondolas or anything else in that place. But to be fair, it was also getting late, so we decided to make our way back to his hotel, though I hadn't actually eaten anything all day, so I was just about able to grab food for the in-house restaurant, quite literally 1 minute before they stopped serving food. So I most certainly ruined all those chef nights on that day, but hey, at least the food was pretty good. So on day 3, I decided to do the thing that Vegas is famous for, that being gambling. Now, I am no fool. Well, maybe I am one, but at least I know that you're unlikely to win when you gamble. So I set aside some money that I was prepared to lose. So I can say that I have indeed gambled in Vegas. So I went and gambled $50 at 2 casinos, the Luxor, the ominous Black Pyramid, and the Planet Hollywood. So how did that go? Well, at the Luxor, it went badly, then it went well, then it went badly again. So I lost my $50, which was to be expected. But surprisingly, at Planet Hollywood, I actually won, leaving the casino with, I shit you not, $69. So that is still a net loss of $31, but at the very least, I can say I beat a casino. Though, you guys definitely shouldn't go gambling, as you will lose 99% of the time. I also had to wander around a few other casinos, like the Excalibur, saw the totally real Statue of Liberty guys, trust me, and also found the Coca-Cola store, which had enough corporate merch to make even JC Jensen proud. But they did also have these 14 drinks from around the world, which was quite interesting, so I ended up purchasing that instead of all the merch. I also went to the Museum of Illusions, which was a very nice little thing to do, with all these fun illusions you could interact with and look at, not to mention the staff were very nice. God, I feel like some snooty Yelp reviewer now, but oh well. In the evening, I linked back up with DT and we went to the RTS Museum, which wasn't all that impressive, I'm going to be honest. We then ended the day by going to Gordon Ramsay's Burger to again make a certain MD tuber very jealous. It was pretty good, though bloody expensive. Right, day 4. So, what else is near Vegas? Ah yes, the Hoover Dam. We're going full New Vegas up in this. So yeah, I went to see the Hoover Dam, and I must be completely brain rotted because all I could think about while looking at it was that it looked just like it did in the game.
So that's Fort New Vegas.
But that is not all I did, no. I also went to the Grand Canyon, because you kind of have to if you're in the area. It was quite an impressive spectacle with the sheer size and scale of the whole thing. I myself went part of a tour bus, with everyone I was with looking suitably touristy. But yeah, it was quite good. Though it was very hot and the other tourists didn't return back to the bus on time, but what can you do? As you can imagine, there was a lot of walking around in the blazing sun, but at least I didn't get burned. Though, a consequence of all this is that I did end up with blisters the day before the Lvl Up Expo. Speaking of which, so it is now Friday, the first day of the expo. When I arrived, I went to join the queue to collect my VIP lanyard. During the wait, I had a nice chat with some of the other attendees, which was very good, because it meant that I learned I was in the wrong line. After I found where I was supposed to be, it meant that I was able to get straight in without any wait, which was nice at least. But yeah, I was now inside the expo. For those who don't know, the expo opens an hour early for VIP ticket holders each day, so I had a chance to do some of the things before it got busy. So I decided to do my MD tuber duty and check out the glitch booth, which was quite large and relatively impressive, at least in comparison to the others around it. I thought I might as well get it out of the way and waited in line. As I waited in line, I noticed some of the glitch staff all moving around doing their thing, though I thought I recognised some of them. Some looked like Kevin and Luke, and then they were talking to what seemed to be Fitzy. But surely not, right? After all, the horde of other glitch fans around didn't seem to react to them at all. So I thought I was going completely insane. But after I got my stuff, I mustered up enough courage to go up and talk to one of them, politely asking if they were who I thought they were. Turns out it was Kevin and Luke, which is good because it means I'm not completely mad. But yeah, I had a nice short chat with them, got a selfie, and was on my way. I also bumped into who I realised was indeed Fitzy. I had a nice chat with them too. Turns out I was the first person to recognise all three of them, so I guess I have that going for me. I'm still surprised no one else realised it was them at the time. But yeah, while I waited for Death Templar to show up, who was having issues getting Cyn to behave correctly, I decided to get a few of the Cyn prints I needed in order to get them out of the way. Now, Glitch also had 2 panels running on this day, first a Digital Circus one, and then a Gaslight one right after. But DT hadn't quite arrived yet, and when he did, he immediately got lost. But eventually he did manage to find his way, though he did need to wheel Cyn up in the middle of the panel, which as you might expect, turned a few heads. But yeah, we have finally met up at the expo. Now, of course, we just took Cyn into the heart of a convention at a glitch panel full of glitch fans. So, naturally, the second the panels were over, we got swarmed. And by we, I mean DT. As of course, everyone wanted to get a gander at Cyn. This quickly became a common occurrence over the 3 days, with many people coming up to see Cyn. However, this did not stop us going around a few of the stalls, getting stopped frequently by other glitch fans until the expo closed for the day. Right, so day 2 of the expo started much the same, with DT being late. Though, to be fair to him, poor Cyn was having some technical issues that he had to fix. So again, I took some time to do a bunch of the activities and other such things that were available at the expo. But I was not completely alone. No, I met up with the other creator I intended to meet while I was at the expo, old animator Thing of Insecurity fame. So I was not completely without company. Later on, DT managed to patch up Cyn and link up with us, though Cyn still chose to be silent throughout most of the convention, clearly scared of all the people. She really did not want to say anything to anyone. Now that we all linked up, we went to the Glitch Fan Cosplay Meetup. Well, we tried to, but we did struggle to find the thing, and ended up at the wrong end of the building. But we got there eventually. While we were there, everyone got a good chance to take pictures and interact with Cyn. Fitzy even arrived at one point, so we finally got Cyn meeting Cyn, which was very cool. But yeah, that pretty much rounds out day 2 of the expo. We said goodbye to Animator Thing and parted ways. Though I will say it was very cool to see so many glitch fans meet up in one place. And it was also very cool to see Cyn talking to Cyn, which was quite surreal. So now on to the final day of the expo. Things started off well with DT arriving on time. We then had the US Army take a keen interest in Cyn at their booth, clearly considering the military applications of her. But after that, we decided it was finally time to collect the rest of the signed prints that we were looking to acquire. This is where we saw many VAs like Michael Kovac, Lizzie Freeman, and many more. By the 3rd day, we had seen and done most of the things that we really wanted to do. So me and DT were mostly doing all the other little things that we might have missed. He predictably was still getting swarmed by loads of the people who wanted to see Cyn, but this was expected. So we did most of the remaining activities that were available and looked around most of the remaining stalls that we hadn't yet looked at. We also did some of the arcade gun games that were available, with of course I achieving a higher score than he did, much to his dismay. But yeah, if you couldn't tell already, this was mostly the chill day. However, after the expo, me and DT went back to his hotel so I could conduct a full interview in person with himself and Cyn, who thankfully decided to be much more chatty during the interview, though it did not stop there being a host of technical problems. But if you want to see that exclusive interview with DT and Cyn, you are unfortunately going to have to wait just a little bit longer. But you at least have something to look forward to. While the Lvl Up Expo may have been over, I was still in Vegas for a couple more days, so I had some time to do some other things like go to the Atomic Museum, along with going to the top of the Strat Hotel. But the bulk of the interesting things that you would likely want to hear about as a viewer are now over with, so I will close the video out here. But I have to ask, what would you have liked to have seen in Vegas if you had gone yourself? And what things at the Lvl Up Expo would you have liked to have seen / done? Let me know in the comment section below. Anyway, that'll be all from me. Remember to like and subscribe and do all the other things that every other YouTuber tells you to do. I would really appreciate it. And yeah, check out my other videos, some of which are even good. Maybe. Either way, I hope to see you all again very soon. Bye bye.